the Washington Commanders have the easiest NFL schedule in 2022.
That's the good news.
Which is great news.
Yeah.
The bad news, they still need that thing, a quarterback.
Somebody's got to win and play those games.
Right. And of course, there's been a lot of names thrown around. Russell Wilson, maybe grabbing somebody in the NFL draft. But something that stood out to me was Deshaun Watson. What's your take on that?
You're right. The Commanders need a quarterback, and I don't think they know who the quarterback's going to be taking the first snap in game one, which is, we're in March, but that's still a problem.
Yeah.
You still got Taylor Heineke. They've made trade offers for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. They interviewed, you were at the NFL Combine, they interviewed and met with every quarterback there, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, etc. And now they're sniffing around Deshaun Watson, who we hear that if he's not charged formally by the Houston District Attorney by April 1st, if he's not charged of a crime, teams are going to start making trade offers for him.
Which would be great for Houston.
And yes, and Washington's in the mix for that too. So who's going to be your quarterback? Taylor Heineke, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson.
Right. Yeah. Lots.
That's my guess. That's my absolute prediction for 2022. That narrows it down for you?
Yeah, totally. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So when we look at the Houston Texans, as they're now entering off season and they have a lot of building to do down in Houston, getting Deshaun Watson out of there is obviously step one. Do you feel like this is going to happen sooner rather than later?
Yes, it has to. And again, the key date is a lot of NFL teams are saying if he's not formally charged with a crime, which would probably be a felony, then April 1st teams are we got to really start ahead of the draft, we got to start making some personnel moves.
Right.
So teams will start making legit offers to the Texans April 1st. Now, if he is charged with a felony, that's a game changer. Then all of a sudden he's, beyond damaged goods, he may never get traded.
Right.
But the Commanders are interested in Deshaun Watson. Carolina Panthers are interested, and the Philadelphia Eagles are so interested, they sent their own team of investigators to Houston to find out what's really going on here, because, and I don't blame them. Kick the tires and you do your own due diligence in a trade that big. But yeah, they're interested as well. Even though the Eagles came out and said, no, Jalen Hurts is our guy. Well, then why are you sending an investigator to check into Deshaun Watson? There's interest there.
Yeah, and of course the uncertainty is so hard for the Texans fans, but at least there's finally a date. Like that, okay, we're going to know something soon-ish, which is nice.
It was a black cloud over this franchise all year. You go from, he leads the NFL in passing yards.
Right.
He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, an elite quarterback, and all of a sudden
people are buying his sports cards and selling them.
And it's not just that he was hurt, we'll get him back. It's like he's gone. Yeah. He's publicly says, I don't want to come back. I don't like the organization. I want to be traded. That's like a psychological and a physical blow to the team. And they, a lot of things went wrong for Houston in 2021, but Deshaun Watson was probably at the top.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons and Calvin Ridley and some cryptic tweets. So the Falcons are still trying to figure out exactly what they're going to have with Ridley next season.
Or are they going to have him at all?
Are they going to have him? And if they do or they don't, obviously that changes their NFL draft plans and every free agency plans and everything. But maybe we have a little clarity on Ridley?
Well, or do we have a riddle? Do we have a Calvin Riddle? I'm not making light of his situation.
Right.
We know Calvin Ridley left the team early in the season and said, I'm not where I need to be with mental health and I'm taking a break. In this day and age, everybody's very aware of that and very sensitive toward that, so they gave him his space. And then he kept his space, and his space got longer, and all of a sudden the season was gone.
Right.
And not only did Calvin really not play, he stopped showing up to the headquarters and wouldn't even let the team assess him, much less help him.
Right.
Now, still, we're in the offseason. Calvin Ridley finally comes out and tweets last week, football is life. That's all he says.
Okay. Which you would think is a good sign.
Which seems like I miss my life. I'm in a better headspace. I want to come back and play.
Football is my priority.
Seems like it.
Right.
Which was what Falcons fans said. And they went to Twitter and replied to his tweet and said, can't wait to have you back. Please tell me you're going to play for Atlanta next year. Falcons fans love you. Are you all in for the Falcons next year? And Calvin Ridley threw us all a curveball and just responded with the cry laughing emoji
So
with
wait.
the big smile and the tears. So you're like,
I have
wait,
a
what?
question about this.
I have a
Was
question
it
for
a
you back.
Was it in response to somebody's tweet, or was it just its own tweet?
Yes. No, it was in response
Okay.
to and I'm paraphrasing, but the response is basically, great to hear it. Can't wait to have you back with the Falcons. You are playing for Atlanta next year.
Right.
Ha ha ha, cry. It's cryptic, it's cute, it's also crappy, Calvin Ridley. So, again, we're not judging his mental state, but if he's feels good enough to talk about football as life, which means 2022 and beyond, is there something there that he's saying, football is life, ... as long as I'm not with Atlanta? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
If I tell you, it's great to have you back,
Right.
I can't wait to work with you, and you just go cry, I'm like,
What
who
does
are you
that
going to
mean?
work with, right? I mean,
I learned a long time ago not to judge too harshly into emojis. So I will say,
I would say that is a good life lesson.
it's a
But that's
good
all
life
you
lesson.
have, though. Is
Yeah,
you
I
have
think-
football is
I know,
life, 3
but
words and an
I think
emoji.
we
have to overanalyze
If
it.
you're a Falcons fan, I think you wait until there's more than 3 words and an emoji,
I
and
agree.
that's coming from just some life.
If you're a Falcons fan, Bo, the football is life is a good, he's talking about football.
Right.
He feels good enough to tweet.
Yeah.
We'll worry about him coming to Atlanta next, but
Yeah.
it's very cryptic.
Yeah.
We can't explain it.
No, we can't, and nor should you try. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams, who begin their defense of their Super Bowl title. Good for the Rams, and also good for quarterback Matthew Stafford, who is about to get a major payday, it sounds like.
The Rams they're being asked all the questions that all defending champs are. How do you keep this team together?
And it's so hard to do.
But so far, we want OBJ, Odell Beckham back. Yes, we want Von Miller back. We want Matthew Stafford back. But they're not just saying that. With Matthew Stafford, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Right.
He's negotiating a deal upwards of $40 million a year. It could be $45 million a year, which would be the highest NFL contract per season, next to Patrick Mahomes, who makes so it'd be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Think about that rocket.
It's crazy.
From the Lions
Where he has
to the
gone
highest
in
paid
the
player
last
in the
couple
history of the
years.
NFL. Should have bought your Matthew Stafford stock last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look,
If you were-
forget cryptocurrency. We'd have Stafford currency. We'd have something.
Love it.